Israeli strikes on Gaza enter their 11th day as troops exchange fire with Palestinian fighters in Gaza City. Nearly 90 Palestinian children have been killed so far in this offensive, while hundreds of others have been injured. A warm welcome to News Hour here on CCTV International. I'm Wei Su Lok. Let's get right down to the headline news of the day. Now, Tuesday is the 11th day since Israeli forces launched strikes on the Hamas-governed Gaza Strip. Israel says the main aim is to stop rocket fire on southern Israel. On Monday, the second full day of an Israeli ground offensive, troops exchanged heavy fire with Palestinian fighters. The clash took place for the first time in a densely populated area in Gaza City. The expansion of Israel's military operation into ground battles is taking an increasingly heavy toll on civilians in the Gaza Strip. UN and Gaza health officials report that more than 550 Palestinians have been killed, and at least 200 of the victims are civilians. Meanwhile, more than 2,500 Palestinians have been wounded. 5 Israelis have been killed since the offensive began, and that includes a soldier killed in ground operations. Well, Israel has said it will not immediately withdraw its ground troops from the Gaza Strip or stop its air strikes. It's also training reserve troops for possible military operations in the future. Meanwhile, on Hamas's side, it's urging its fighters to crush Israeli forces. Here's Sung Suwei with the details.
Israel said its offensive targeting Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip is going according to plan, and it insists it has no intention of reoccupying Gaza.
Israel made a supreme effort to dismantle settlements, and no Israeli was left in Gaza. The Hamas doesn't have the slightest reason for the shooting of Qassams against Israel.
As Israel continued its ground offensive on Monday, its reserve forces were training in the Mok village at an army base in southern Israel. Tens of thousands of reservists have been called up to bolster the Israeli operations. Defense officials said the extra forces could enable a broader ground offensive. Hamas has vowed to wait for Israeli soldiers in every street as the ground offensive continues. A Hamas leader also hinted at retaliation attacks.
Zionists have legitimized the killing of their people when they killed ours. They have legitimized hitting their schools and hospitals when they hit ours.
On Monday, Gaza militants continued to pummel southern Israel, firing more than 30 rockets. Zheng Sui, CCTV.
The expansion of the Israeli offensive into ground battles and artillery salvos has taken a heavy toll on civilians in the crowded coastal territory of Gaza. The number of Palestinian casualties has surged as the humanitarian situation in Gaza continues to worsen. Li Xiang takes a closer look.
More than a week of deadly attacks have been forcing Palestinians in the Gaza Strip into one of their toughest plights in decades. In the southern city of Rafah, people run for shelter as explosions rang out on Monday, the 10th day since Israel launched its strikes on Gaza Strip. Children caught up in the mayhem were in clear distress. Nearly 90 children have been reportedly killed so far. That accounts for 15% of the dead in the Gaza Strip. Hundreds of other Palestinian children have been injured. Also on Monday, Palestinian residents in northern Gaza fled their homes due to non-stop intense fighting. Refugee families left behind their homes, escaping with a few essential belongings before relocating to Gaza City. There, they are being placed in school classrooms. Some refugees say the Israeli army has continuously attacked civilians in their homeland.
They are bombing our lands, our homes. They are firing missiles on our houses, on the homes of the residents.
Days of relentless Israeli military strikes have left hospitals in Gaza overwhelmed with casualties. A constant stream of dead and wounded have been brought into Gaza's largest hospital, Shifa. Doctors and nurses there are working around the clock. The hospital is only relying on generators for power after shedding damaged power cables to the area.
In this hospital, we're set up to receive dozens of injuries, not hundreds. We're simply not prepared to receive large numbers of people. We, the medical team, are doing everything we can. We're working day and night.
On Monday, the United Nations said there was an increasingly alarming humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The UN says Gaza is running low on clean water, food and medicine, as well as power and other supplies. But violence in the region is currently showing no signs of letting up. Lisa, CCTV.